Someone asked him about Rin Satsuki, who was a character that was removed fairly early on from the development of Embodiment of Scarlet Devil, but her code remained. Apparently he wanted her to be playable, but had to cut her due to time. And he also commented, when he was asked this question, he went, "You guys know a lot about these games. Like, how did you find this code?" He was asked why none of the Moria Shrine characters appeared in Helpless Masquerade. His answer was, "No reason. No, they just didn't. That's it. That's your answer. Sorry." If there's one thing anyone should have gotten out of this Q&A session with Zune, it's that he's very matter-of-fact and he doesn't really care about what anyone else thinks, really. He was asked if certain characters from certain games may or may not show up again, and his answer, I believe, was, "I won't say no, but." So, George, if you're watching this on YouTube, Mima's not coming back, I'm sorry. And finally, when he was asked how Maribel's name was spelt, because this has been a big, huge deal in the fandom for a while, because we've only ever had a katakana name for her, and even then it makes no sense whatsoever. So Sola finally got the chance to ask him what the official romanization name of her name would be, and... so we will never know. I'm sorry. Alright, the fan base for this series. We will get into this in a moment. We have a few contributors from the fan base first to talk. First up is Kosachi, who is one of the organizers for the Hakare Shrine Festival. To put it in layman's terms, in really simple terms, it is a Toho event at an anime convention. I'll let him tell you more. Cancel out this. You want your, yeah, you can touch it.
Last year was just
So for those of you who have never heard of this before, the Hakurai Shrine Festival is a Toho exclusive sub-event that took place in August last summer. And this is a subsection of Otakuthon, which is a convention in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. A long way, I know. And what this is, it's really a fan sub-event made by fans for fans. And this was originally spearheaded by a girl named Amber, who's a very close friend of mine. And what she had in mind was, hey, there's not many Toho fans in Montreal. Let's get some noise going. And we got way more than we expected. So what we did for our first year is we ran 3 tournaments, 8 panels, these small things. And we felt like we missed something. That was, there was no fan submission outside of the group of friends that we were. So I'm here to ask all of you, if you want to submit something to the Hakurai Shrine Festival, August 22nd, Montreal, we will happily take submissions so long as they are acceptable. Also, another thing, I know I'm shamelessly plugging myself here, but we are also going to be doing live lunatic clears of all the stage 6 bosses. So the Toyosato Bibi no Miko clear that you all just watched will be done live, as well as all the others. And if any of you would like to play these games live, send us an email at toho@otakuthon.com. We will happily take you. So now that the shameless advertising is out of the way, so essentially, well, that's about it. Never mind then.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Yes. Can I say that I love your hair, by the way?
It looks beautiful!
It does look very nice. I don't remember if you mentioned this or not because I had a hard time hearing from the back, but I think what amazed me the most about the Hakurai Shrine Festival, which, by the way, for those of us that were there, it was a very awesome time. It was an incredible time. It was definitely, yeah, you were there. It was, It was definitely, and from here, it's like a 4.5 hour drive from the Boston area too, so it's not terrible. Just make sure you have your passport. And don't remember that you don't have your passport until the last exit in Vermont. But I don't remember if you mentioned this or not, but they also had a live rock band playing as well. Okay, you did mention that? Okay, but yeah, they had a group local to Montreal called Yokai Project, which played Toho music live there for an hour and a half. Like, how can you beat that, really?
And I think it was what? You and I were there, right, John?
Yeah, I think the two of you were there. I was watching Thursday.
You and George, right?
Yeah.
And they kicked some serious butt. It was wonderful.
Yeah, so definitely go up and see them. Okay, so next up, to talk about Western music developments, we have representatives from Gensokyo Radio, who are a online Toho music streaming group. Now we gotta wait for that.
While we're setting this up, I would like to say that I would like to thank Shrine Maiden for bringing us here, because without them, we actually wouldn't have a reason to come here. And I also would like to say that my favorite song on Toho 13 is Night Soccer, The Dead Spirits. That's why it's my favorite game.
I would also like to say that my favorite shirts in the room right now are these shirts. Not because they have any particular characters on them. No,
We have 3 of them we'll be giving away later. Yep, we have 3 of them. So if after whatever, we're gonna try to give them away.
Yes, free stuff. So, for the Toho Music segment here, he's known as DMJ654. He's our kind of music reviewer person.
Or I go as Gummy Bears.
That's our nickname. And I'm known online as Lunar Spotlight, and I'm the station manager. So, a little bit about us, and I'll try to make this brief. Gensokyo Radio is a 24/7 Toho internet radio station, and we started in March 2011. We have logged listeners in more than 140 countries, so that's most of them. And we take a lot of other stats too, but that's kind of a big one. We have an average of 45 listeners in general, and we're growing over time, slowly but surely. For bandwidth for the server that streams all the music out to people, we consume more than 2 terabytes a month. So, like, if you imagine a new or newish hard drive, that's 2 terabytes. You can fit a lot of video, music, whatever. We go through one of those once a month. So, we have 5 staff members, us 2. We also have our tribe, who is the founder, Nano Satellite, who is one of our moderators. Unfortunately, he's not here. But, and then Sonic Mega, or Sean Chiplock, he's actually a voice actor and he's done stuff in California. I think one of the latest things he's done was he voiced a character in the English dub of Sword Art Online. So it's kind of cool to have him around. We also have some Facebook staff. One of them is Spark. He's got the camera back there next to the other camera.
Very nice. Congrats.
He's the page manager. And then we have volunteers, 20-something volunteers around the globe. They're in a lot of places. And obviously, from our perspective anyway, Toho and his music is very obviously a global phenomenon. Seeing how many people in how many different countries there are, and how many people have offered to volunteer to help us get the word out. But it all goes back to the origin. Little guy in the green hat there is Zune, of course.
I wish I could buy one.
Apparently they exist, it's tough to find, but anyway. All elements of the Toho games created by Zune, we kind of went over that already. They're all original compositions. He makes everything in the games, all the gameplay, the characters, including the music. They're set to various themes, settings, moods that are all relative to the gameplay, so obviously if you're just starting stage 1 or whatever, and that's going to be a lot different than any boss theme, or especially as you move further through the game. There's a lot of circles out there, and what I mean by that is you can think of circles as kind of a music group, so you can't really compare them to bands, there's some clear differences. Like bands will have instrumentalists, vocalists, people who,
They're more static.
yeah. So they're basically one group. And circles, you can have artists who kind of participate in multiple circles. People who write material for one circle or sing in another or do a combination. So it's really kind of cool. It's not at all static like at all. And then of course, with all those circles, there are just thousands of albums out there. So how many circles did we?
I think the number we got up to for at least up to this year was almost 1,000 registered.
It's really tough to say exactly how many there are because there's always new people putting out music. So thousands of albums, tens of thousands of songs. We know it's over 40,000, but there's probably much more than that even. They're all derived from music from the Touhou series of games, and they're all made by fans of the games. So you know, people in the circles are all fans, people who want to put this music
It's
out.
never a corporate decision.
No, that's also very important that you know all these circles aren't signed on by like a company or
Like
a
a
record
major
label
record
or,
label.
or what have you. So they're all fan stuff. Some ways it's gained popularity.